dear participants of our Learning Alliance on Small-Scale Farmers, we are reaching our final week of the first module on market liberalization, successes and limitations. We have had three quite intense weeks of dialogue and debate in our learning platform, and we have already some clear-cut conclusions regarding our main question that we launched 3 weeks ago. What has been the effect of market liberalization on smallholders in our rural societies? As we anticipated, the effects of these market liberalization policies are twofold. We have one side of the story when we can show, and there is plenty of evidence, when the small-scale farmers have been successful in terms of getting access to different employment opportunities or increasing their participation in different markets, both in the final goods and in the input markets. But also, we have another side of the story when small-scale farmers were not so successful in this participation. They were forced to reduce their portfolio of crops, or they were forced to exploit the natural resource base and other negative effects. As we see, the debate is not concluded. In your contributions, we have seen and understood that there are different factors that explain the different outcomes of the liberalization policies. The heterogeneity is tremendous. We can use, for example, the variable of the type of crop or the type of market as an explanatory variable of why these liberalization policies has been positive or negative upon the rural small-scale producer. In some examples that you raised, the social capital, the institutional organization at the local level plays a crucial role in helping the small-scale producers to benefit from the liberalization policies. Some of you have raised quite interesting examples of collective action activities or the work of cooperatives in different crops in Eastern and Western Africa. And finally, we have introduced an interesting dimension in the last week through the paper by Dr. Escobar on institutional innovations that have created opportunities for smallholders in the Peruvian Andes. This has to do with what some researchers are calling in Latin America the new rurality or the new rural society, when the smallholder becomes a different economic agent and the non-agricultural income is becoming more and more important in the economic strategies of the rural society. This pluri-activity actor that is becoming the small-scale producer in our rural societies in Latin America, therefore have to face different challenges, not only based on their agricultural production, but also in their multiple economic activities. In this same direction, we can recall our interesting debate on contract farming. You presented different cases, different institutional arrangements, and different understandings of what do we mean by contract farming. Although this has been on the literature for more than 20 or 30 years, as public policy, this is just beginning in some of your countries and regions in Africa and Asia. And the conditions that facilitate, that enable a successful contract farming also depend on these factors that we have been summarizing today. Let me recall and encourage you to have a look at the GISAMA project, the Guiding Investment for Sustainable Agriculture in Africa, this joint research initiative between Michigan State University, Department of Agricultural Economics, and many collaborators in the African continent. The Gisama project has an excellent set of documents and information and data set that may be a good source for your work and for our discussion in this final week of the first module. To conclude, let me encourage you to take this final week to make an attempt, make an effort to find out what are the main conclusions of our debate. We have had a very good set of materials that have been shared from our team in ELA as well as from you during the whole debate in the 3 weeks. And we are going to have 1 week to build a set of conclusions that later on, at the end of our Learning Alliance, at the end of the 3rd module, we can come back to this debate on the successes and limitations of liberalization policies. Once again, thank you for your interesting participation during the first 3 weeks of our module, and let's see how can we finish this first module, and next week see you there in the launching of our 2nd module on territorial rural development. Thank you.